Okay, let's get started. Hi, I'm Bill, and if this is the first time dropping into the channel, welcome. I thought it would be appropriate to close out the series on 2022 Golden State Star Party with this epilogue. I'm going to share with you the results. I'm also going to share with you what's next, as well as a couple of pieces of gear that I'm going to add to my kit so it will enhance my ability to travel and where I travel to. So let's get started. Hopefully this will make sense. First, for those of you that may be dropping in for the first time, I went up to the 2022 Golden State Star Party, and this is the basic gear that I used to image that night. It's my first scope, the William Optics Zenithstar 61 Mod 2, and my new Skywatcher EQ6R Pro mount. And then you see on this slide the other pieces of my kit and that I've recently put together. And this is being a traveler, meaning that I don't image much out of my backyard. I choose to go, because my backyard is really constrained from field of view because of giant redwoods, and also I'm in a Bortle 7-8 zone, so if you're new to the channel, I like to travel to darker sites to do my imaging. What I did up at the Star Party, I built or collected data to create a 2-panel mosaic. The Star Party was held under Bortle 1 skies up in Northern California in a town called Adin, a rural area at about 4,000 feet elevation, really great field of view. You could also see Mount Shasta off in the distance, and it was a beautiful dark sky at night. Really glad that I made the trip. So I used 2 filters, an HA and an O3, and what you see here is the number of light frames that I collected for panel 1 for each of the filters, the number I collected for panel 2. I used an exposure of 180 seconds. I also took 30 darks, and then I took flats for both, N dark flats for both the HA and O3. Roughly, I wound up with about 7 hours of integration time spread across the 2 panels. All right, the results. So I am not going to go through what my workflow was in PixInsight to put this mosaic together. I hope to be able to do that at a future point. I will admit the last 2-3 days when I was working on this data within PixInsight, I was doing some poking and hoping, but again, I'm going to promote this book inside PixInsight, and in each of my videos I have Amazon affiliate links, and you will be able to find a link for this book in the video description area of each of my videos, or at least my newer videos. I did a couple of weeks ago, at the suggestion of one of the viewers, look at, I think it was Windy City Astronomy. I watched a few of this person's videos. They were very helpful. But today when I sat down, everything I did, and the last couple of days, today was the day I merged the 2 panels together. I just followed what was in the PixInsight book, and it was pretty good. I want to give a little qualification on my PixInsight skill. I am a first-year beginner with PixInsight. I am taking the Atom Block Studios online fundamentals training courses. So I think over time, I may process this data again, and that's the great thing. Once you have your data as your, in my view, as your proficiency with whatever tools you're using to do your image processing, you can reprocess the data as you learn new techniques and skills. Like today, I believe I used multi-scale linear transform to remove some of the noise and smooth that out. So I hope to be able to get to a point where I am knowledgeable enough about PixInsight where I can share with you a little bit more about my workflow and why I'm using that workflow. But right now I think I'm too new as a beginner. Things seem to be coming together for me. I'm probably taking longer to do the processing than a more experienced person. I'm sure of that. And I don't want to give any bad information. But what we see here on the screen is panel 1. And let me open it up a little bit. Now, this is panel 1 after I used Pixel Math to create a 3-channel image. So this is an HOO image. So this is panel 1, and then we'll open up panel 2, something like this. Okay, close to the edge. And that is panel 2. So independently, these panels have not been fully processed yet, or maybe you call it post-processing. This is basically what I got after I integrated, or after I used Pixel Math to create the final initial image for each of the panels, panel 1 and panel 2. This is then I'll show you the result. This is the result of the combining the 2 panels, and I have done some image processing on it. I've done some further processing. I used a red mask. I used curves transformation. So I'm going to call this version 1. As my skills develop more, maybe I come back and I enhance it. But this is the result, and still some noise in there, but not too bad. So I've got a lot more to learn as far as the various techniques available to me to apply into the workflow. But essentially, I'm pretty happy with this. I don't see any significant artifacts as far as where the seam is. I think it kind of came together well. For my first try at a mosaic, I'm pretty happy, and I will include a link to my AstroBin where you can see this image on AstroBin. But I was a little bit concerned because I went to the Star Party and then I came home and I had to go to Yosemite for 6 nights, so I didn't really get an opportunity. But once I started to process it, and I saw that, okay, while there are some issues with my data, it doesn't look too bad for my first attempt. So I'm going to score this as being satisfied based upon my current skill level with this image. So let's go. I think that's enough there. I did want to point out a couple things though. So let's bring back up the deck. So let's go on to the next one. It was interesting that initially I collected 28.9 gigs of data, a combination of light frames for two panels of light frames, darks, flat darks, and through working with that data in PixInsight, I am now up to 154 GB. And something I did differently, and I'm still learning the best approach. Let's see if we can go into here, if I can bring this over. Where are we at? My directory structure is a bit of a mess. I'm still learning what is the right flow, in particular when you have two different panels and you process each panel independently. Also, I did a lot of, when I first started working with PixInsight, I was not saving files often enough. And for instance, in the post-processing, I made sure at each stage that I saved the image with a particular name so I could get back if I had to get back. So I'm learning a system that works for me on what to use as far as a directory structure. It may not be appropriate for you, but it's kind of interesting. The more that I work with PixInsight, what I really enjoy is the ease of redoing a process. So you know, you can easily run and reset and run a process again, and you can change your parameters, the values of your parameters, and you can run it again. And I really like that feature. What I wasn't doing when I was first starting was protecting the original data by saving those files, and so it created some rework. And now maybe I'm saving files too much, but I'm really gaining an appreciation for PixInsight. 13 of the HA light frames failed to register using star alignment. I got an error unable to find initial set of putative star matches. I subsequently, actually that number was 18, I got it down to 13 by changing some of the parameters for the star alignment tool. There are several parameters that you can change, and I played around with them. Again, that's what I like about, I changed the ransack tolerance and increased the descriptors per star in that, and eventually I got more of the light frames to align. So it's just a learning process, but for me, I find it an enjoyable learning process with PixInsight. All right, so let's kind of, and again, the book Inside PixInsight was my workflow guide. I did look at a couple of videos a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't use them the last few days. I just kind of worked with the Inside PixInsight book, and I think it turned out pretty well. A couple of things that I wanted to share to keep you updated on where things are headed. I've made a decision to purchase the Unihedron sky quality meter. Given that I'm a traveler and I am going to go to various dark sites, I want to be able to measure the sky quality for the area that I'm imaging in. I think it's just a nice to have, not a need to have. So I did purchase the SQM model. There's the SQM and the SQML. This has a wide field of view. This has a narrow field of view. I thought since most of the places that I image, they're pretty wide open so far, that the wider field of view would be what I would use, and then I will document as I go along for the various imaging projects what the sky quality was at the time of the data collection. Then the other thing that I've done, I've gone ahead and I've ordered the Starlink RV kit. Starlink has enabled a service called RV. It's $35 more a month to be mobile with the Starlink kit. I ordered it, should get it around the 20th to the 26th, which should be in time for the new moon, where I plan to go out and image sometime around the 27th for several nights. Probably go to 2 different locations. One would be the Sacramento Valley Astronomical Society dark site up at Blue Canyon Airport, and then I think I'm going to go up. The great thing about the trip to Adin, California, where the star party was, I went by several BLM, Bureau of Land Management campgrounds that are free and open, and I'm going to, there's a lake up there called Goose Lake, and I think weather permitting, I'm going to go up there. I'm going to image from there with the sky quality meter. I'll be able to document what the quality of the sky is at that location, and so I'm looking forward to that trip. Let's see, here's some what's next ideas. So I want to try a 4-panel mosaic using the ASI 533 MC Pro. So these are the 2 targets that I'm considering. The issue with where we're at along the summer time, the number of imaging hours is limited compared to later in the year when the days become shorter and we get more hours to image. So maybe I don't do a 4-panel mosaic now, although these targets are available. They're going to be around for a while. These 3 here. So, and their optimum viewing is in August. So maybe I wait until August. So, but just some ideas. If you have any thoughts on what I should shoot next, I'll be open to it. And if I go back up to the Adin area, north of Susanville, California, then I may just use the ASI 533. I don't know how to say the second part, but there's this rho something O something object, and shooting it in RGB in a dark sky might be something that I should do. Several of the people that were at the star party were shooting this target in RGB, and again, because the light pollution, the sky glow was very low. So anyway, these are some of the ideas. So I think that is about it. I just wanted to update you. I'm pretty happy. Troubles aside, where some issues were with my mount and those type of things, hopefully I've worked through that. And we'll see next time out. I still got to work a little bit on my getting the proper offsets for my narrowband filters. I'll probably burn part of a night next time out to try to dial those in and finalize that process. But overall, I'm pretty happy with my results. I'm glad I tried the 2-panel mosaic. It really was not that difficult, and I think doing a 4-panel would be interesting, in particular with the 1-inch sensor of the ZWO ASI 533 MC Pro one-shot color camera. All right, well, I don't want to go too long here. Thank you for dropping into the channel. As always, like, share, and subscribe. And wherever you may be in the world, clear skies. I always look forward to your comments, questions, and suggestions. Keep them coming. I really appreciate it. I'm learning from you, and hopefully others that are reading the comments are learning as well. Other than that, see you next time.